A little bonus here on the Upstate Sports Edge Plus. We are joined by Prospects Live insider, baseball insider Justin Lada to talk about the upcoming Major League Baseball draft. What can we expect about the local capital region products in Kumar Rocker and Luke Gold? Justin, we're going to start with Kumar Rocker first. For those who haven't had the opportunity to watch Kumar Rocker in person this past summer at Tri-City for the Valley Cats, take us through what you believe is a great scouting report on what Rocker is as a player.
Well, first thing that stands out about Rocker is a slider. It's a premium slider. It made hitters look really bad in college when he was at Vanderbilt. Obviously, he was a top performer there. Gets up to 99 with the fastball. The fastball is pretty much plus. There's some straightness to it where it doesn't play up to its velocity at times. But, when you throw it 99, you can make it work. Those two pitches are definitely an asset for him. And like I said, the slider is a swing and miss pitch, through fairly enough strikes at Vanderbilt. I think it was around a 10% walk rate, which is a little below average, but I think with some cleaning up of the mechanics and some other things, you can see him get to be about average control. And really overall, I think he projects as a middle of the rotation guy, not a guy with a ton of upside left. Almost kind of I don't want to say a finished product, but close to what you're going to see at the big league level, and a guy who has a chance to get through the minor leagues fairly fast to whatever team decides to draft him.
Is there a spot in particular where you could see Rocker go off the board this upcoming weekend? And is there a franchise or two in Major League Baseball that you think could be the best fit?
Yeah, Rocker's a really hard fit. So obviously last year he went 11th overall to the New York Mets. Didn't sign because of medical concerns. So obviously that makes him a hard fit for a lot of teams. He didn't pitch this year in college. He pitched at Tri-City, like you guys mentioned. There's a lot of ways he can go. So you're talking about a couple groups of teams. So you're talking about teams that may want to get him to the majors fast, who are in need of pitching, in 2023 or 2022 if they want to put him in the bullpen this year. You're talking about teams that are trying to create trade value very quickly with players who are close to the majors, and teams that just really value college pitching overall. So I think you could see him go potentially as high as 13 to the Los Angeles Angels. They're a team that really could use pitching, and they want to, draft guys that can quickly get to the majors because of their lack of pitching at the major league level. I think the Philadelphia Phillies at 17 makes some sense for him, just maybe potentially for trade value purposes. I think I've seen him even go to the Reds in some mock drafts as well. And I think really he should be a back half of the first round talent. There's been a lot of links to him in the Boston Red Sox at 24th overall. There was, I believe, a lot of scouts at his starts at Tri-City. So that's a real strong link for him. And I think any team beyond 24, you'll see some teams interested. I don't know about the Yankees at 25. The White Sox will be at 26, possibly Milwaukee at 27, but I really think 24 might be his floor for the Red Sox. If he doesn't go there, I don't know. He could slide into the upper half of the competitive balance rounds, but I think he's a back half of the first round kind of pick right now.
Some Capital Region sports fans who are diehard Yankee fans do not like that answer. They don't like it, but it could be the best spot for the young prospect, Kumar Rocker. Let's flip it over to a Boston Spa high school product, Luke Gold, a fantastic player for the Boston College Eagles. When you look at Luke Gold, what stands out to you about this type of player?
Yeah, it's a bat over glove or profile. He has a hit over power, not a ton of power, but puts the bat on the ball, doesn't strike out a lot, does take some walks. So very nice contact profile. I think there's a little bit of room for power growth when he gets to the majors, with maybe some strength training and some professional hitting coaches, I think could help. But I think really you're looking at a 12 to 15 homer kind of guy. But really a guy who's going to make a lot of contact, should hit for a fairly decent average. One of the better college bats in the draft, at least among bats that you're going to see go on the second day. I think you're looking at a third to fifth round type with Luke Gold. Positional versatility is an interesting thing for him too. And it's going to be very difficult to peg where he plays in the majors. He played a lot of second and third for Boston College. Also could be a fit at first base. There are some questions about the arm at third base. So second base might be a home for him in the majors, but I think there's a question of the range there, but he might be a guy that's able to fill in, first, second, and third any given night for you and do a passable job. I don't know if you're going to see any gold gloves for Luke Gold, but a guy who can fill in at those three positions and potentially give you an average bat.
Whether or not that was pun intended, we're going to let that slide for the Gold and Gold Glove reference. You mentioned third to fifth round there, potentially where we could see this Capital Region product land. Franchise team-wise, what can be the best team that 3-4 years now set up to be the best success for the rest of his professional future?
Yeah, that's a hard one to peg. I mean, when you get to those rounds of the draft, you're really looking at best player available for most of these guys on the board. You know, he had teammates go to Miami. Cody Morissette from Boston College went to Miami last year, as well as Sal Frelick, who went to Milwaukee. So those are teams that might be interested in him as Milwaukee and Miami. Baltimore has been linked to him a little bit. They're a team that likes some college bats. I think Washington is another one as well. So any team that's looking for college bats that can maybe move along the system a little bit quicker. So yeah, Baltimore, Miami, Milwaukee, maybe Pittsburgh. Those are a couple of teams I think that would be linked to him, possibly St. Louis.
Is there anything about this Major League Baseball draft in 2022? We know over the past few years there's been some changes with the overall draft, but especially with Rocker, Gold, or any other prospects that this year, okay, this change has happened and it could potentially affect them in the near future.
Yeah, the only really change to note is I believe the rule this year, and this is directly related to Kumar Rocker, I think, after what happened last year, is there's a process for undergoing medical evaluations, like an MRI or things like that, and you're still guaranteed a certain portion of your bonus as long as teams have your medicals. So obviously, he didn't submit his medicals last year, and that was a very big storyline in the MLB draft last year. So that's part of it this year is where if there are certain medicals that the teams have on you, you're still guaranteed a certain portion of your signing bonus.
Prospect Live's own Justin Lada. Looking forward to the Major League Baseball draft. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at JL_baseball. Still the same Twitter handle. That's right, my friend. Justin, appreciate your time as always, man. Looking forward to catching up again in the near future.
Always good to talk to you guys.